Hello everybody, welcome back to Clear Surf Financial Education. Carl Keister here. So today I thought I'd talk about this market a little bit and the fact that this week we have the FANG stocks are reporting, plus the big one, Tesla, reports after hours, which is tonight after hours. So I'll probably be putting this out tomorrow morning. So Tesla will be out there. It'll be something to pay attention to because as that stock goes, so do a lot of stocks in that arena, whether it be the battery makers, the car maker, anything dealing with EV or even solar panels. Sometimes they'll play off of Tesla depending on what they announce, because Tesla does have solar panels as well. But everyone will be looking at how many numbers they put up last time they reported. It was almost 500,000 cars that quarter, which was they blew the numbers away, which people were expecting. But I'll be looking more interested in Apple and Microsoft. You have Google and Facebook. So those stocks, the market will not keep going up without those stocks. So those stocks have to report good earnings, they have to report good numbers, and more importantly, they have to say that the future looks bright. I can tell you personally, I've read multiple different newsletters from hedge funds and other people that I follow, money managers, and honestly, they're all bullish. That scares me. And then one of the money managers, Whitney, mentioned that. He's like, he doesn't think the party is going to be over yet, but he does think it's going to be over this year in 2021. But he thinks we still have some way to go. Now, someone else that writes with him says that he's never felt more optimistic about buying since April, which we had the turn down in March. So he's very, very positive. So everybody just seems to think that the things are just going to go up. It doesn't matter how much money gets printed. It doesn't matter how many illegal illegal immigrants are coming across the border. Nothing matters right now. It's like it's bizarro world as far as, I've watched the market now for 20 some years, and it's just things aren't really attached to numbers for most of these companies. Now some did. I think it was Kimberly Clark came out. They had that big push. They're into diapers and all kinds of paper products, and everybody loaded up on products. And now that company reported earnings, and they missed revenue, missed earnings, and also guided lower, and that stock has been punished. So, but any stock that comes out and it has a positive revenue or positive earnings, or neither one of those, they just say the guidance is going to be good going forward, that's all the market needs to go back up again. So I've been following Teladoc a little bit this week. That stock has it's come down quite a bit. Matter of fact, I'll give you some more numbers here because it's running again today. Let's just see. Yeah, it's at an all-time high, not all-time high, but it's at the high of the day right now at 190. So this is a stock though that when people were afraid to go to the doctor, it went through the roof. In November it was 175. It went as high as 300, and then it round tripped. It was down all the way to 175, as low as 165, actually on March 29th. So as the economy was opening up, Teladoc went down, but now it's starting to catch some legs again. So this is one to watch. Ticker symbol here is TDOC. And I have a feeling, I haven't looked at it because I've been watching Teladoc, but DocuSign probably going to look the same. And it's up 3% as well. It's up 750. So these stocks that were punished there when the economy started opening up, this didn't go down near as far as Teladoc. So this was 250, 260, and it only went down as low as 200, 190, somewhere in that ballpark. So it's been moving, but yeah, Teladoc's been one I've been watching, and I still think when you see what's going on over the weekend in India, they're having record cases right now, running out of oxygen. And I just read today that we're actually going to be sending some of the AstraZeneca, those vaccines that were earmarked for the United States, that Biden's talking about giving those to India, sending them over there, because right now we have more than enough vaccines from Johnson & Johnson, because they just released that now to be used again, Pfizer and Moderna. So we don't really need the AstraZeneca, which was on pause because it had some problems overseas in Europe, which again, another thing blows my mind, that they stopped using AstraZeneca overseas because of some folks having blood clot. But a lot of European cities are closing down again. Germany and some places in Italy and France are shutting down and talking about maybe they'll allow some American tourists to start coming over. That was an interesting piece. So our vaccination rate is going like this. Theirs is stagnant because they don't have enough vaccines, and the one they do have access to, they stop using it and put a hold on it because of some blood clots. So you have people dying who can't breathe versus a few blood clots. I don't get it. That's why I'm not in politics. I don't get how politics and how these people make decisions as far as medicine goes. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. You know, the Johnson & Johnson was stopped for like a week. 7 people had reaction. I think 1 died out of 7 million vaccines. Let that sink in. 7 million vaccines, 7 people had reaction, 1 died. How many people walked out of McDonald's or Burger King and died of a heart attack? Hundreds of thousands a year die of heart attacks from eating fast food junk. We don't stop serving fast food, not for a day, not for a week. Anyway, again, this is the world we live in now. Who can figure it out? I don't know. But anyway, so this week, getting back to my initial thought, and that is earnings will be very, very important this week. If you get earnings that are positive from Microsoft, which I think you will, because now they got that subscription-based service versus the buy a package one time and it's good for years, as I mentioned in some other videos I posted. That's the way to go. They're definitely gonna rake it in. Apple always seems to come up with a new product or a new design or subscription base. They're always growing. So I'd be very disappointed or surprised if they didn't hit some numbers, because they're one of the few companies that did not get back to the high. Microsoft went back and hit new highs. Apple has not hit the new high from 1 year ago. So let's just take a look. The high actually was back in January at around 145, and today it's at 135. So one of the few stocks of those high flyers, the FANGs, that didn't come back and take out new highs. Even Facebook, I'll pull that one up. Facebook was another one that surprisingly pulled back and then went higher. Now it's been under a little bit of pressure here, but yeah, so let's take a peek. And this stock was around, Facebook was one of those stocks around 104, and just the other day hit 114. So we're talking within the last month, it's been back there. So again, Apple's one of those shoes that haven't hit. So if we see Apple, we see Facebook, Microsoft, that should actually keep helping the market go higher. But it's just with all this money, there's so many situations out there that people are just investing in. Now, Bitcoin did start catching a little bit of a bid after a rough week. My last video was a week ago, and Bitcoin lost that 65,000, which was like, I think 2 weeks ago, and broke below 50,000 over the weekend. Today it started catching a bid again. It was back up to 53. So anything that followed Bitcoin, like the riot I've been watching, and I mentioned about Mara, those things follow Bitcoin. So if you're interested in watching the Bitcoin trade, if Bitcoin keeps going higher, you're gonna see Riot and Mara take some, get some legs and take off here again. Mara's up right now, $5 or, nope, I'm sorry, that's Moderna. Been watching that one too. Look at Mara. So Mara and Mara's up $2, $34 stock, up $2. That's 6%. So that's one of those stocks, and also Riot is the other one that's been going hand in hand following the Bitcoin trade. It's up 7%, up $3 today. So that one's at an all-time, not an all-time high, but at the high of the day. This thing, just last week, was down to 34. Went from 34 to 41. So if you've got the courage to follow Bitcoin, these stocks kind of go hand in hand. Every time I think about getting into one of these things again, I see one of these big pops, and you think, well, that's it. And then you get a pullback, you take your eye off it for a day, and next thing you know, it's right back to where it was. So anyway, that's it for today. I just want to mention those stocks. Definitely keep an eye on Facebook, because Facebook, they have to report some solid numbers, and I'm just going to be curious to see what they have to say, because Microsoft, as part of their privacy policy, is changing. They're going to allow you to, on their phones, they're going to allow you to opt in or not as far as Facebook tracking your every move. Facebook's been doing this, but no one said anything about it. The government hasn't stopped them. Nobody has stopped them from tracking everything you do, which is going to be interesting, because now Apple has actually got the ability, because it's their software, nothing that Facebook can do. And if you want to opt out and say, I don't want to be tracked, it might hurt some small businesses out there. But at the same token, if your privacy is important to you, you can opt out of being tracked anymore. So Facebook's gonna have to find another way to get you to buy products when you're just happen to be talking about a product or looking at something online. Next thing you know, this perfect advertisement comes to you. It's not a coincidence. That's because Facebook's watching everything you do. Everywhere you go, everything you view, they're tracking all of it. And now you're gonna have an option here very shortly. It's gonna be a big announcement this week. I think when Apple comes out with earnings, they're gonna mention that you can actually opt out. So I have a feeling that's gonna hurt Facebook's numbers. The stock's not acting like that right now. I'm kind of surprised. I haven't went on either side of that right now. I wanna see how it shakes out. But how can it not hurt them? If they can't track you, all they have is your prior data. They can't track you anymore. I don't know. So we'll see. So I'm gonna leave it there for now. So anyway, Carl Keister, Clear Surf Financial Education. And we'll pay attention to his earnings and probably watch his market keep going higher the rest of this week, more than likely. All right, take care.